Good evening, Track Gang. Hey, welcome aboard Sidetrack Sunday, the extended version. Of course, you all know me. I'm Ray Bogle, and this was the idea of the Sidetrack Sunday crew that I should wear the hat after I wore it for my last Sidetrack Sunday. Anyway, a little bit of background here, real quick, and then we're going to get into tonight's host. And I started this whole live streaming business back in March of 2020, and through the urgings of a few in the YouTube community, Sparky 107 107 being the biggest one of those. And I started doing the live streams mainly at the end of the month, but I would throw in some live streams during the week. But mainly, I started Sidetrack Sunday back in March of this year, and it just became something to do because of the showstopper and everything else that we've been going through. It was just something to pass the time and be able to literally chat with the folks online. So back in August, John from the Schuylkill River Valley went ahead and got a hold of me and asked me if I would be interested in extending Sidetrack Sunday, to which I was like, sure, why not? So I said, well, who are we going to get? Well, he says, well, it'll be me and you. And he says, well, how about Heath? And I'm like, okay. And then we picked up Jason. So the four of us are now going to be running Sidetrack Sundays from here on out. John will be the first Sunday of the month. Heath will have the second Sunday of the month. Jason will have the third, and then I'll have the fourth. And if there happens to be a fifth, of course, I probably should have had a fifth. But anyway, if there is a fifth Sunday to the month, we'll go ahead and we'll have a guest. So without further ado, because I don't want to leave you all hanging on much longer, so without further ado, here is tonight's host for September the 6th, 2020. Here's Johnny.
Good evening, everybody, and thanks, Ray, or I guess I should say Ed, or maybe I should be saying Doc, but I appreciate the intro. Thanks a lot. And I really appreciate everybody being here tonight. Let's see, who do we have here? Sparky's here. Um, Heath from Humanity Junction, Joe Raider, Black Rock Central Railroad, Dave BNS N Scale, Dustin's N Scale Railroad, JT1, Melvin Fackler, Grandpa Rails, JD1, Grandpa Rails, JD, sorry, um, RDA N Scale, Dwight Curley, Chuck at CDP 1965. Uh, let's see, who did I miss? Jason the Train Freak is here. Um, Wilmer from the Indian Head Valley Railroad. Jerry Satterelli is here. Rick Bailey's here. Paul the Carver, great to see you. Let's see. I think I got everybody. If I missed anybody, oh, Ron Brights is here. I missed him. Let's see. Just scrolling through the chat here, see if I missed anybody. Well, I hope I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I apologize. Ian from the Lehigh River subdivision is here. How you doing, Ian? It's really great to see everybody here. I appreciate you stopping in. Let's see here. I think I got everybody. All right. Well, now that I said hello to everybody, I think. Oh, here's Bob from the PK&W Railroad. Great to see you, Bob. Thanks for stopping in. Anthony, Hastings BNSF N Scale Modeler. Thanks for stopping in, Anthony. All right, well, thank you. Let's see, somebody's saying hello to Tom. Who's that? Is that, I'm not quite sure what Tom is. Tom's Trains and Things. Hey, Tom's great to see you, man. Hope you're feeling better. So thanks everybody for being here tonight as I kick off Sidetrack Sunday, the new and expanded version. As Ray mentioned in the intro, this is going to be me on the first week, Heath from Humanity Junction on the second week. Sparky wants me to turn my mic up. All right. I'm actually up as high as I can get it, Sparky. Sorry. Let's see. So I'm going to have the first week, first Sunday of the month. The second Sunday will be Heath at Humanity Junction. Third Sunday will be Jason the Train Freak. Fourth Sunday will be Ray the Freak. Ray Boble. And the fifth week, when we have one, we'll have to scare up a guest to come in and entertain you folks for the night. So this is basically an On Track Tuesday style of live stream where we're each going to take a week. We stole the idea from Wilbur and his crew. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. All right, so let's get started. I hope everybody had a chance to check out Rick Bailey's premiere today from the Bridge Guys. If you don't know what this is, Rick, Ray Boble, and John Deli. Hey, Brian, just saw you stop in. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Anthony, Georgia Sunbelt, how are you? Anyhow, Rick, John Deli, and Ray Boble are each building a Central Valley Bridge, which is not a simple build by any means. And they put together this series where John Deli has already built one. Ray has not built one, but Ray's been in the hobby for quite some time. And Rick is pretty new. So they're each building this bridge, and they're putting together a premiere every Sunday around noon. And they're going through their progress and their analysis of it, what they think of it, and they're showing us how they get along with the build. So it's really a great idea. The final reveal is going to be this. The series is running all through September, with the final reveal is going to be on Ray Boble's Sidetrack Sunday on September 27th, I believe it is. Ray, if you'll correct me on that if I'm wrong, I'd appreciate it. But that'll be a live stream, and they will reveal their bridges and give their final opinions of the builds. And so far, it's been a lot of fun. Today's premiere was a lot of fun. It was a lot of laughs. These guys are great together, and this is really, really an excellent idea. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, be sure to check out Rick Bailey's channel, Ray Boble's channel, and John Deli's channel, so that you don't miss any of the episodes. That's right, Rick. Yep, we're looking forward to your opinion most of all, Rick. Nathan DeLay, hi, how are you? Great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Ken Amos is here. Thank you, Ken. Yes, Ray just confirmed it will. The reveal will be on Sidetrack Sunday number 8, and that will be September 27th on Ray Boble's channel. But this coming Sunday, the premiere, I believe, is going to be on Ray's channel at noon. And I think the week after that, it will be on Grandpa Rail's channel. So I really encourage you, anybody who hasn't seen this yet, to go ahead over and check it out and follow along with their build. It should be a lot of fun. All right, so let's see here. All right, so since YouTube is no longer putting out notifications like they used to, we have some schedules showing up here on the screen. Make sure you support and check out these live streams and these other great shows. I'm sure you all know we have some great model railroading content on the community, especially since the showstopper. There's been quite a bit of it lately, but it's been a lot of fun. So I hope you'll check these folks out and support everybody. Let me take a quick look at chat here, see if I missed anybody. Let's see. I think I got everybody. All right. So I thought what I would do tonight is I've been working on some tunnel portals for my layout, and these are tunnel portals that I cast out of plaster, and I thought I would work on adding some color to them today. Reagan from Black Mountain Station, great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Oh, thanks, Heath. I'm glad you like that. Heath was just complimenting me on the animation. Okay, so these are tunnel portals that I cast out of plaster, and they represent concrete tunnel portals. I like using plaster for when I model concrete because of the way it takes paint. Real concrete is a very hard surface, but it's very porous. If you spill something on it like oil or anything of that sort, it stains it. You never get the stain completely out of it because it soaks into the surface. And that's what I like about plaster. Plaster is a similar material, and it takes paint very much the same way. So that's why I'm a big fan of plaster. Dwayne's Fork and Spoon. Hey, Dwayne, great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Marty from used to be M&M Shortline. Marty M. If I didn't say hi to you before, hello. And before I turn the camera down here, let me take a quick look just to make sure I'm not missing anybody. All right, so I'm going to switch my camera down here. So I'm not going to be paying attention to chat all that much. But we'll get started on what we're doing here. So this will just take a second, folks. Bear with me. All right, so here's two of the tunnel portals I've been working on. Digger Evans, hey, it's great to see you, man. I really appreciate you being here. I know I'm keeping you up pretty late on a Sunday night. I really appreciate you stopping by, my friend. Nathan, the progress on my layout, I have been working on it. I've actually been making a good bit of progress. Nowhere near as much as I'd like, of course. But I guess there's no sense hiding it. I'm scheduled to be the guest on Tom's Trains and Things tomorrow night. I've been scheduled to be his guest for the last couple of weeks, and it hasn't worked out so far. Hopefully it'll work out, and if it does, Nathan, I should have a quick layout tour on Tom's show tomorrow night, so you'll get a little bit of a sneak preview of what I've been up to. So anyhow, here's the two of the tunnel portals that I've been working on. Let's see how well the camera's going to pick this up here. The portal on your right is just the bare plaster. The portal on the left is what we're going for. When I made these molds, let's see, you can see it. You can see it here on the finished portal, or the not quite finished portal, I should say. You can see the lines from what would have been the sheets of plywood that were the mold for pouring the concrete. So you can see along the top edge here the lines, and let's see if I can get this in the view here properly. See if you can see this along the sides, along all the interior. You can see the marks from the plywood forms. Hey, Rob, why are you naked for? Great to see you. Thanks for stopping in, man. Appreciate it. When I made the mold, I cut. I made the mold a little bit smaller than I wanted the final. All right, sorry about that, Bob. Yes, the unstained one is on your left. Sorry about that. Looking at things backwards here. But I cut 16th inch basswood into scale plywood sizes and lined the wood with that before I cast the mold. This way the lines would be going the right direction when the plaster was poured. I made the mold out of a silicone mold. It's I used a product that's called Oomoo, OOMOO 30. It's a 1-to-1 silicone mold. It's really great to work with. It makes nice molds. It does a perfect job recreating all the details. The thing is, if you're going to use it, it has a very short lifespan. So once you open it, you need to pretty much use it all very, very soon, or it's gonna get hard on you. Anyhow, so this is the stained one, the one that it's on my right. Hopefully, it's on your right. Is what we're going for, and I'm going to start tonight with the unstained one. So what I like to do, let me bring this back here a second. You can see in the stained one, let me get my pointer here. Okay, you can see like up along the top, along the top edge here, and you can even see inside on the inside edges where it's already been stained with a black wash. All the decades of smoke and soot from the steam and diesel engines going through there would have stained the concrete, and that stain would soak in. So that's what I start with. I like to get that part in first because that's going to soak in pretty deeply. So what I have here, wrong one. What I have here is just a black wash that I mixed up. It's just acrylic paint. It's made out of black, brown, and a little bit of blue. I was just going for a hello, Nancy. It's great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see. Yes, Nathan, I did. I made the tunnel portal from 16th inch basswood that I cut into the size of 4x8 sheets of plywood, scale size, of course, and use that to get it, before I made the mold, to get it as realistic as I could. So this color that I'm using here is a very ugly, very dirty black, but that's really what I was going for here. So I'm just going to dab this in pretty much towards the darkest part, towards the center, where the smoke and the exhaust would hit most of it. But then I'm also going to feather it out the edges because it would blow out, towards the sides as the engine was going through the tunnel. Claude from the Cowboy Valley and Timberline, great to see you. Thanks for stopping in, man. I appreciate that. So this is a very thin wash, as you can probably see. it's just being absorbed very quickly into my plaster. And I'm just taking some water here to feather it out somewhat, because I really don't want any hard edges. I'm looking for, get rid of the hair from my brush. I'm looking to feather it out here, since the stains from the soot and the smoke would feather out. They wouldn't just be nice, hard, solid lines. Hey, Nathan, no problem. That's what I'm here for, is to ask questions. The logo for my channel. Well, the S and the R. The S is pretty much the shape of the river as it runs through Bridgeport. The R, of course, stands for the river, and the V is, of course, for valley. The part of the river that I'm modeling, there are some very steep sides. So that's why the hillside along the sides of the V are so steep, running down to the river. So thanks, Nathan. I appreciate the question. So I'm just continuing here with staining the inside of the tunnel portal. And again, I'm feathering that out. And that's about all I'm going to do with staining it at this point. Now, the one, let's see, I missed something there with Sparky, but that's probably just Sparky. So, the one downside to this technique is there's a lot of drying time involved. I could continue with this, but I'm using all acrylic paints. They're all water-based, of course. So if I don't let this dry, I would just be blending them all together. Oh, right. What software I used? Oh, good point. Nathan, I used Photoshop to create it. You could also do it in something like Illustrator, but I am much better with Photoshop, so I tend to reach for that one first. So anyhow, I am trying to, I got to let this dry or it'll just blend together and turn into mud. So that'll set aside, and that I won't work on until probably tomorrow. So now that brings me to the second one here, which let me get it up here onto the screen, which you can see I've already stained the top of this one so that I'd be able to continue with this demonstration tonight. Let me put my lid back on my paint before I spill it all over my desk. Okay, now I'm going to put on the main concrete color. I don't like a lot of the paint that you see for concrete. It's almost always gray, and at least in my area, concrete really isn't gray. It's much more of a buff color. So what I use is let me get it into the camera here so you can see it. I use it's made by Liquitex. It's part of their Basics line, and it's unbleached titanium. The white that you get, the switch list. Rick, it's great to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Let's see, lighter colors show more imperfections than the darker ones. Well, I guess that depends on whether it's the imperfections in the surface or the imperfections in the paint. But yes, Nathan, the lighter colors can show up a lot more obvious than the darker colors. Anyhow, the white paint that you get is titanium white, but it's been bleached, and this is unbleached. So just to give you a quick idea of what this color looks like, as you can see here, it is, let me get it in the camera here. I got to get used to this, getting this stuff into the camera. There we go. It's probably going to show up very white. No, I guess you can see a little bit of the color here on this white paper. But it's a very buff color. It's maybe you would call it a cream color. Not quite beige or anything that brown or yellow, but it's unbleached titanium. It's just unbleached white. So now this I put on a lot more liberally, and I just coat this. Let me clean off my brush here. Let's see. Rob says concrete comes in many shades from near white to very buff. You're right. It absolutely depends on the materials that are used, the sand, the aggregate, and even the lime and the rest of the minerals that go into it. So yes, it does vary a lot. And there's probably very gray concrete around. It's just in my area, it's very buff color. So that's what I'm looking for. So this unbleached titanium does a really nice job of that. Again, this is a very thin wash. And I'm really just scrubbing it on. I'll scrub it over the darker stains that I had put on this portal previously. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put this on pretty liberally and then let it just soak in. So that we end up with a nice buff color of concrete, which I'm used to seeing around here. So this is none of these steps take a long time, although that finished portal that I showed you at the beginning probably took me about a week to do, just from all the drying time. It was about 5 minutes of work at a time, and then letting it dry overnight, at least, or until I got back to it. So let's see. And it's actually so thin, which is what I wanted. I wanted very little color actually in here and mostly water. It's so thin that once it dries, I may go back and go over it again in some spots. Especially this one, since I'm turning it around quite a bit to get it finished here. I normally like to let the wash just sit on the surface so that it soaks in pretty evenly and doesn't run, although it's not going to ruin anything. It'll just get another coat if it does. So I'm really not worried about it. So let's see here. Sorry, Bob. I got to get used to keeping my hands in the camera. It's a little bit easier when I'm filming a video because I can pay attention more to the monitor than I am here. But if I do move my hands out of your view, give me hell. You certainly wouldn't be the first one, and I can assure you, you're not going to be the last person either. So let's see. All right, so that. Okay, that's pretty much it for that coat. even this up a little bit here. And now this is another one that would now get set aside to dry. And again, I would let that dry overnight, at least until that all soaks in, so that I don't wash it off for the next coat. So now after I've gotten that coat done, wait till they get this in view here. Let's see. Nathan, yes, I do like the Reading and Northern and the Reading. I don't have any Reading Northern on my layout, but I will have definitely some Reading power and some Reading lines. Okay, so this one I have now is with the unbleached titanium coat has been put on, and everything has dried. Yes, Sparky, that is a great idea. My my workbench downstairs, I have a cutting mat with the lines on it, and when I shoot the video, it's a whole lot easier. But I'm up here at my desk, and this is just a black mat, and I really don't should have brought up the other mat. And yes, Rick, that is a beat up keyboard, not well used. It's beat up. Okay, so now what I'm going to do here is I've already, like I said, I've stained the black. I've added the buff coat on top of this. I let everything dry, and I hit it with a coat of dull coat. So now, and I don't have any of this mixed up, so I'm going to have to thin it out here in front of you, but this shouldn't be a big deal. Let me use the other one. Let's see. I'll check chat here while I'm at it. Mystic Southern, great to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add, again, a very thin wash. And this is just brown. At this point, I'm looking to add just a dirty covering. Nothing very thin, not much color at all. Just the dust and dirt that would have accumulated on the concrete and in the gaps from the plywood over the years. So let's see. Yes, Nathan, the bridge that I'm building is based on a real bridge. Based on a bridge, actually out by your way. It's out by Reading, and it was built by a joint job between the Pennsylvania and the Reading Railroad, and it is Peacock's Lock Viaduct. You can look that up on Google Maps, and you can get some really nice 3D images of it. All right, so this should be good enough. So this is just a very thin brown wash, and like I said, I've hit this with dull coat, so this won't seep in, but it will find its way into the cracks, and will highlight all the marks from the plywood. So I'm just coloring them in here a little bit and then wiping it off. And I might not have gotten enough paint ready. We'll see. And again, this is just real quick. There's nothing nothing special about this painting technique. I'm just slopping it on here. And Just lightly wipe off any excess. And I hope it's showing up here on the camera. How it's highlighting the wood grain from the plywood and the seams between the sheets of the plywood. Yeah, I guess it's showing up a little bit. It would have been nicer if it showed up a little better, but I will take what I get. Got it, Ray and Heath. Thank you. Okay, now we'll. I need some more paint. I usually end up pouring out way too much paint. Of course, tonight I didn't get enough. Let's see. Did you know that the Reading and Northern are going to rechange their paint scheme from yellow and green to red and gray? I did not know that, Nathan. I kind of like the yellow and green paint scheme. Does that mean you're going to change the color of your logo? So let's see here. All right, that's good. Top, wipe that off. And oops, got to get the sides. Like I said, I'm just really putting on dirt here so it doesn't have to be even. In fact, I really don't want it even. I want it to be as natural as possible. And then we'll get some along the inside, which would actually get very dirty in here. So I'll probably put this on a little thicker and not quite wipe off quite as much on this side. And just like with the buff coat, after this dries, I may end up going back and touching up a few spots if I'm not happy with it. But, all right, so that's that. Yeah, I can see already I'm going to need to touch up a little bit here. I'm not real happy with that. Or that. That's a little better. Yeah, I think that looks better. All right, so once all this dries, unfortunately, I really won't be able to finish this tonight because after all this dries, it will get another coat of dull coat, and then I'll be weathering it with my airbrush. And I don't have a paint booth set up here in my office, so I'm going to have to do that another time, and I'll bring you the final results on a video. But that's how I go about coloring the concrete for my my portals. I hope that's showing up pretty good. Yeah, I guess that's not showing up too bad. The light's kind of washing it out a little bit. Let me see if I can adjust the light a bit. And turn the light down. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Unfortunately, it's not showing up as good on camera as it looks in real life, but when I get it weathered and I get some video shot of this, I I think it'll be I'll get some good shots on video. Yes, Heath. After it's painted, I'll hit it with a shot of dull coat, and then I'll airbrush it for the final weathering. I will. Let me get this one out of the way because it's wet. I'll add more of the smoke effect, the smoke, and the soot from the diesel up along the top edge, along the bottom edge. Let me see who's. Along the top edge and along the inside edge, I'll add a good bit more black, and that will just probably be straight black, maybe with a little bit of blue added to it, and that will be the weathering. And I'll probably add a little bit more of the brown towards the bottom, as the dirt that's been kicked up. Yes, Norman, some concrete-colored weathering powder would probably make it a whole lot easier, but this is a method I've used for a long time. Let me switch back here. Let's see here. Let me catch up on chat a little bit here. All right, Bob, you can see the sheets of the 4x8 plywood. That's great. It's a whole lot more obvious in person. And like I said, once it's finished and I get to shoot some video and with some good lighting and some good color, it should show up a whole lot better. No problem, Heath. I just kept hearing the notifications. I figured it was you. Let's see. So let me get caught up on chat here. I've probably been missing. I know I've been missing all of it. Let's see. Thanks, Rob. The weathering on the keyboard really took a lot of work. I'm glad it's showing through, and I'm glad you recognize that. Let's see. All right. So, does anybody have any questions on how I did this, why I do it this way? Let's see. How wide is the inside of my portals for Chuck? Oh, okay. The inside. I changed camera. Sorry about that. The inside of the portal from here is a 1/2 inch. The supports on the front. Let me get that. The supports that run down here on the front, they stick up about another 1/4 inch. Sparky, it's a paint that I use, but it's thinned down very much. It's very much like a stain, and that's really what I was going for. I probably could have used a stain, but this is just cheap artist acrylic paints. Bob, yeah, I might be adding some dry brushed highlights. I will airbrush most of the weathering on, but I'll probably adding some dry brushed or even some powdered highlights to it once I get done. So from the track, yeah, it's you know what? It's actually a little bit more than a 1/2 inch from the track. I don't have the actual measurement right here in front of me, but it was checked with an NMRA gauge, and I ran some of my longest cars through it just to make sure that, let's see, the width of the tunnel portal is, the opening is 2 3/4 inches wide, And yeah, Mystic, I know they can't get over my keyboard. People that see it in person say the same thing. So it's the tunnel portal is 2 3/4 inches wide, and it is 3 3/4 inches high. So I think that's what you're asking me, Chuck. If not, holler at me and I'll try and do better. The finished product here is as finished as all right, let me switch cameras again here. Guys get to see my beautiful keyboard again. Oh well, thank you, Mystic. I appreciate that. I'm enjoying doing this. All right, Bob. Here's the. This is as near a finished product as I have. I don't have the airbrushing or the. I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. This is it. That's the wet one. I don't have the airbrushing or the final weathering on it. But I will, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna take that outside or set up my my paint booth and airbrush them, and then I'll add the final weathering to it, and I'll definitely put out a video showing the final result, and also with it in place. Oh well, thank you, Norman. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Let's see, 6 inches inside of a double track portal is probably good. Assuming that your tracks are going to be about 2 inches on center, that should give you enough clearance. This is 2 3/4. But that's because this tunnel is curved. So there's a curve. The tunnel itself is curved, and there's a curve going into and out of the portals. So I made them a little bit wider, just to make sure I had plenty of clearance. And I hope it's Sparky that has a nice wigs, Norman, because I don't have one. I mean, if I had one, if I was wearing a wig, it sure would be a different color than the one I'm wearing. So yeah, I getting back to you, Chuck. I think the 6 inches will be fine. It's Long Island existed before the Cressona Mall was built. No, Nathan, I'm not aware of that bridge. Where was that? Was that over the Schuylkill River? Let's see. Sparky is too high maintenance. I wonder if Amy agrees with that. I'm sure she does. Let's see if I missed anybody here. Actually, Dave, it didn't take that many years to get it that weathered. I use my keyboard quite a bit, and as you can see, I don't bother cleaning it all that often. Most of the keys, you can't tell what they are. It's a good thing I've been typing long enough that I can find them. Let's see. Chuck says his double track portal is 4 23/30 in width, and it touches the cork. Yeah, that 4 23/30. That seems a little tight to me. You're going to be at 2-inch centers, which is probably a little tight for going through a bridge. You're going to be about 3 5/8 inches wide from edge of car to the edge of the car. The two cars on side by side on tracks. So that's not really leaving an awful lot of space. I think I would go with something a little bit thicker, 6 inches, 6 inches, especially if it's a curved turnout, curved tunnel. I think I would go with 6 inches. Let's see. So stick it in the dishwasher, huh? Yeah. If my dishwasher worked, I'd probably give that a shot. These portals are going. I have a very small tunnel that I'm adding to my layout. It's not prototypical. There are no tunnels in the area that I'm modeling. But if you have a model layout, you got to have a tunnel. So this is going on. It's going to be in what is King Manor on my layout. Not that I expect anybody to know where that is, but it's a tiny little town right next to Bridgeport, which is one of the main towns on my layout. Let's see. Chuck's tracks are like 5 inches wide with a space in the center. Okay, they're a little bit wider, so yeah, I would definitely go with 6. Give you plenty of room on either side. Let's see that tomorrow night. Okay, yeah. So yes, Sparky, I will be showing my layout tomorrow night on Tom's channel, assuming Heath doesn't cause us any problems. But Steve Arnold, hey, it's great to see you. Thanks for stopping in, man. Anthony Dodge, I don't know if I said hello to you. If I missed you, I apologize. It's great to see you. Digger Evans is still here. Thank you, Digger. James Galton, hello, James. And I lost my train of thought. Well, thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. Yeah, I completely lost my train of thought now. I shouldn't have been reading while I was talking. Okay. So the tunnel portals. So I've kind of forced in a little tunnel. It's very short. The tunnel itself is only about 13 inches long. But yes, Jason, you could tie him up. We did have him locked in the basement last week, but then Tom wasn't able to make it, so we had to let him out. Let's see. Do they make portals with 6 inches inside? Honestly, Chuck, I don't know how wide the commercial double portals are. They're certainly easy enough to make. It's just a matter of cutting the plywood. That the form that I made the mold out of is just made out of scrap plywood. It was cut to the right size, and like I said, I lined it with the strips of 16th inch basswood just to simulate the plywood molds. Oh, believe me, Heath, people are going to keep talking about you. You don't have to worry about that. Let's see. Nathan says, don't mean to promote the reason for my logo is my logo because I'm going to originally do Reading and Northern logo at first. And I thought right away, no, that's copyright inside it. Okay. So Nathan, are you going to change the colors of yours when the Reading and Northern change theirs? That's cool. Nathan, I like your logo. It's definitely recognizable. Anybody who's into trains will recognize that logo, at least if you know the Reading and Northern. Well, thank you, Melvin. It was great to see you. I appreciate you stopping in, and you have a good night. Yeah, Chuck, they're simple enough to make. Like I said, I just cut that out of scraps of plywood, and you can use any silicone rubber mold making. I used, like I said, it's called Oomoo, O-O-M-O-O. It's Oomoo 30. There's different formulations. Some of them are made for casting like lead and other castable metals. So that needs to be stronger, obviously, than what I used. But you can even use like the paint-on latex that Woodland Scenic sells. I chose to go this route because Nathan's never going to change the colors. Cool, Nathan. I don't blame you. I wouldn't either. I chose the mold, the silicone I used to make this mold. because I planned on keeping this mold. I'll probably end up making more tunnel portals out of it, and this is much thicker and it'll last longer. But for something you're going to make just a couple of tunnel portals out of, the paint on latex that Woodland Scenic sells, yeah, that'll be fine. Let's see if I missed anybody else here. Well, I think I don't think I missed anybody. Umu30, yes, thank you, Heath. I appreciate it. It's actually made not far from where I live, but I did get mine on Amazon. And like I said, it's great stuff to work with. I really enjoyed it, but you got to use it up pretty quickly because I ended up throwing away about a quarter of the jar because it just got too hard on me. Chuck, no, it takes very, very little paint in the plaster. If you're going to put the paint in the plaster, I've used paint. I don't really like paint in the plaster. It changes the working time, so you have to work a whole lot quicker. I've used fabric dye, like fabric dye, in my plaster, and I'll actually be able to show you that in the layout tour tomorrow night. That works really well. It doesn't change. It doesn't change the consistency of the plaster at all. Although you do have to make it pretty thick, put in a fair amount of the dye because it does fade. Surprisingly, actually. Heath, I noticed really no smell to the Umu at all. There was a little bit of a silicone smell, but not like silicone caulk. It didn't have the strong vinegary smell. And I poured it in my dining room, and nobody noticed any smell at all. I didn't. So yeah, it's definitely something that you can use inside. Let's see here. Nathan, I've been to Burrow Day in Schuylkill Haven, but it's been a lot of years since I've been there. I used to spend a little bit of time in Schuylkill Haven, but it's been probably 20 years or so since I've been there. Alamite is another good brand. The difference with the Alumilite is that's a 1-to-10 ratio. So you get the silicone, the latex portion, and then you get the hardener. And it's just, I don't know, it's a little bit tougher to measure. I mean, it's not a deal breaker or anything, but the Umu is 1-to-1, and it's a whole lot easier. The benefit of the Alumilite is it has a much longer shelf life than the Umu does. Now, I haven't tried any of the other Umu formulas, but the Umu 30, like I said, it has a short shelf life. The first mold, I made a small mold out of it just to test it, and it was probably about a month later when I went back to pour the mold for these portals, and the bottom, well, actually the top quarter of it had already hardened, and I had to pull that off and throw that away. And luckily, it sealed it so what was underneath was still usable. Yeah, that's on my audio interface, Sparky. That's yes, and it does. That is the gain meter for when I talk. So it's definitely beaten with the beat of my voice. Let's see. Well, Tom, I'm not going to sing because not only would people wouldn't even bother to tell me to stop singing, they would just leave. So you don't have to worry about that. You're not going to get any crooning done here. Let's see here. Did I miss anybody else here? I don't think so. I think I got everybody. Yeah, everybody's talking amongst themselves. That's wonderful. All right, let's see. Well, wow. It's almost 9 o'clock. That time went a lot faster than I thought it did. All right, it's almost 9 o'clock. So if everyone wants to promote your channels, please do so. Any contests going on? I know Vinny's got a contest going, although I think it's closed. Ray Bolo's got a contest going. And let's see, I don't know who else. Somebody else does. Ian from Lehigh River Subdivision, although his might be over now. I'm not sure. If anybody else has any, thank you, Dave. I appreciate it. I'll see you around. If anybody else has any contests going on, please post them in the chat. Let everybody know. Digger, thank you. I appreciate the kind words, sir, and I appreciate you sticking around all night. You got to get some sleep, my friend. Oh, Ray's is done. Okay. Yep, that's right. I'm sorry, Ray. I was there for the drawing. Yep, back on track Saturday mornings at 10 o'clock. Don't miss that. I don't remember what they're going to be talking about next week. I think they said so, but I don't recall. Thank you, Sparky. I appreciate that. James, thank you. James has 97 subs. Come on, we can get James up to more than that, I'm sure. RDA, thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, definitely check out RDA's channel. Let's see. Good night, Sparky. Dwayne, thank you guys for showing up. Norman, I appreciate it. Thank you. Let's see. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate it. Digger, it's always a pleasure having you, man. Thanks, JD. I appreciate the kind words. And yes, Strasbourg, May 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of 2021. Let's make sure we can get there this time. We didn't get there this year, and I know I was looking forward to it, and so was everybody else. Well, thank you, Bob. Yes, I did have quite a few people here for a holiday. I'm kind of surprised. I appreciate you spending your Labor Day with me. Have I been to? I have not been to the Schuylkill County Museum, Nathan, but I have been to Pottsville. I know where that is. That's not very far from me. Ron Brights, thank you very much. I appreciate it. It was great to see you. Jack, I didn't see you in here earlier. Thanks for stopping in. All right. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. Let's see. Good night, JD. Yes, don't forget, check out the Sidetrack Sunday Facebook page. That's at www.sidetracksunday.com. And Heath just posted the link in chat. Raybo was at 339, and he says, don't forget the Bridge guys, and really don't forget them. Next Sunday at noon on Ray's channel will be episode 2. So don't miss that. That promises to be a lot of fun. The first one was. Let's see. All right. Good night, Nancy. Thank you for stopping in. Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate you being here. Yes, Steve. This is a great community here. This is a lot of fun. When I first started my channel, I didn't really see myself doing live streams, but with this community, it's just too much fun not to. So here I am. Mystic, thank you. I appreciate it. And let's see, it's about 9 o'clock. So thank you all for spending the Labor Day Eve with me. And thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. And I hope everybody has a happy, healthy, and safe Labor Day tomorrow. And for those of you in Canada and across the pond, have a happy, healthy, and safe day tomorrow, even though it's not a holiday. Thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate you being here. And we'll see you later.